Hi, welcome to my channel. So a lot of people requested me on how I managed to do this, like get the model, block out, and also the texturing side Houdini. So I'm not gonna go through step by step here because it's a lot of stuff, and the graph is very messy because I was just playing around with a lot of stuff. But I am going to show you how I managed to actually, do so. But really fast now, put a lot of detail in this. So basically, I create a line and then I scatter things to this line with a little bit of bent. The bent is like over here. And then I put a lot of cubes. Basically, the cubes are, stacked vertically, and I put some divisions there because I want to put some clusters in it. And those clusters are actually going to show it this way, and I just did a noise over there in order to have those clusters. And the cluster, I put a noise over here and very intensive. You can put less if you want to. And what happens is like I bring it to a cube right here and I copy the points. And then you have like all those little cubes over there in order to do this. Right. So um, but right now it's like you're not gonna see exactly what's happening because what I did here is like I put like a lot of points, right, and then I flattened down all those points and we put it like on the back over here on this on the X side, and then I brought all together, and then I put the convex hull, right? So you have that, and then I let me see here. Then I measured the area, and what I did here is because we have a lot of pieces inside, right? And those pieces inside need to actually offset. So I did an offset inside the VOP over here, right? And I packed this, and let me see what I did here. Basically, let me see, I don't remember right now. Oh yeah, so what I did here, it was basically getting a little bit of variation on that. So you have like a little bit offset there. And I did even more somewhere, but yeah. Right here, what we want over here is basically get uh, the horizontal cuts, right? Because we already have some of the vertical. And I did a boolean here because we want to join everything together. We already have the vertical cuts or even the foundation of the rock. And then I did a Voronoi there. So the Voronoi, what happens is I put like a little point jitter here so you can actually have a better offset and you can see the pieces are, we put it in occlusion so we can see a little bit better. And we don't even need that much, but like right here is fine. There you go. And then I did more over here because we want some more variation, on the offset. So you have like a little bit less, a little bit more. All right, so this we finish over here, right? Let me see where did I go? And then I unpacked everything. Actually, I did this is supposed to be here. 1 second. Yeah, it's a mess. All right, cool. And then I started like creating like a cracking system, right? So it basically did. I actually have a node over here that I use a lot, which is the clean bool. I created this node. Basically, what it does is it takes out of all the edges are useless. So you can see that we have flattened edges, and it kind of cleans everything in a really good way. And I use like auto seams in order to actually get the best of the best hard edges of it. And just this is supposed to just clean, right? Basically, it cleans the booleans of everything, or even fractures, right? And then I divide it again because we want to actually have a better Voronoi. So I just did another Voronoi over here, which is you get some or vertical cracks, but it's not necessarily a lot. It's just a little bit just to get some more variation or even little pieces per se in some places. So then I did a delete small parts because we don't want like super tiny parts, right? This is another interesting part that I did. So here's the thing. Um, we want some of the pebbles, right, or even like rocks or the foundation, or even like things that just drop down. We want that on the floor. So what did I do here? I did a lot of pieces, really like fracturing, and all the fracturing goes to you know our RBD solver. So this RBD solver is going to actually go there and crack it down and like just bring things on the floor. And then I did inside of the RBD solver, I did a pop-up track because we want to make sure that I limit it. So basically, they're not going to go out of the range that I want here, right? And I want them like to actually get attracted to a line per se. So I did a goal over here, which is the line that I have here. So I'm going to show the line where it is, and this is the line right here. So this is the line. So the points are actually going to go in, try to go inside of that, the cliff itself, but not necessarily because they're going to get collision. So that's pretty much what I'm doing here. And then yeah, we have this, and then I just time shift so the simulation just go forward to the frame that I want. I put like 200. So just gotta wait a little bit. There you go. And let's see what it did here. Okay, so I merged together everything. And this is another kind of like edge erosion, right? So whenever we have like the model over here, let me just take that off because I don't want to see this. There you go. This basically gets every piece, right? Every single piece right here, we're gonna have some crack. So it's just getting like some edges, a little bit, eroded per se. There we go there, and then every single piece is gonna get that effect. And there you go. And that's kind of like what I have. I did a little bit of sharpen over here, clean bool, which is the same node that I had over there, so you can see that it's very clean. It doesn't bring you. Um, I'm not gonna open this node because it's a lot of stuff, so it just cleans up things. So then a lot of the steps over here are a little bit of noise and getting a little bit of things here and there just to get pieces more um, natural feeling. And there you go. Put some bevels in there and fill some holes. Let's remesh this, and there you go. That's kind of like the the mesh that we want, right? In order to actually get to the part of the texturing. So when we do this, we go back there, get the cracking done. Now this is a lot of stuff, so I'm gonna try to go fast as possible. Okay. Um, Basically, this is the texturing side. So I have my model, right? I just go and get the model low poly per se, which is the what we're gonna bake on. So I use VDB, some reshapes, because what we want here is not, okay, let me just go there just to show you. The VDB itself, it's going to have like a lot of cracking or even like, all those spaces there, we need to fill it up in order to actually do the low poly. So I use the open, which is the open, no, sorry, the close SDF reshape. So this reshape, what it does is going to fill it out, all of those holes over there, all those gaps. There you go. So those gaps are actually going to be filled, and then I do a little bit of dilation, and I get to convert that back, right? Because we want that back into polys, and then I just, reduce the polys over there, so we can. I usually like to reduce 2 times because it's whenever you reduce a lot from a really high poly, it gets very um, a lot of triangles that have like harsh angles, and I don't like that. So I reduce from one spot and then reduce another time. You can rate that down back over here, but it can cause issues. So I would, yes, and then there you go. I wouldn't do that. So even if you do by direction over here, it can cause a lot of issues here. So if I, for example, take off the show guided geometry, you can see that it goes really inside. You can try to scale it down a little bit here, perhaps. That would be cool. Yeah, that works. So yeah, let's do that. And then I clip down the floor and start the UVs. There you go. So it's gonna create the UVs for us automatically. Boom, done. And I create like a low poly and a cage. The cage is basically just a tiny little offset from the low poly, so it actually grabs the texture a little better. And then this I'm not using, so I wouldn't even bother to see. And then so I get the subdivided model for the high poly, right? So I'm actually going to use the loop because I think it's much better to have the triangles over there. And then I get the thickness. The graph is a mess. I was just playing with it too. Um, I get the thickness. So what is the thickness doing here? Basically, it's doing that. We're going to use that for texturing. So this is the reason why I'm getting that. Then the measurement is the curvature, right? And there you go. That's exactly what I want. And the mass that we basically this is the ambient occlusion, right? It's just whatever we use for ambient occlusion, that's what I'm getting there. Okay. Then I combine all those guys into RGB channels. Okay. and that's then I send that to the height, right? Which is the node over here. And then I'm gonna bring that geometry right into the cop. So I'm gonna bring it there, and you guys are gonna see this is already texture, so you can see that is already done. This I'm not gonna show guys. There's a lot of nodes over here. So basically, I just bake down things over here with the new baked textures, and then I send it all the channels right here, right, and then just I back them into cable, and then all over to the preview material. Okay, so this is a lot of stuff. Maybe one day I will show to you guys. But yeah, that's it. Like, let me just just change something on that um, per se on the start, right, the beginning. I'm gonna put a little bit smaller just so it goes faster. Let's go there and just put like, I don't know, 6 over here. Let's just test. I hope that it doesn't crash. Yeah, so the variations are endless. You can do a lot of stuff. Again, this is messy. This is just a test. This is, just like playing around with things. And this is very low texture. I think it's like 1024 or something. So actually, I'm going to bring it up so we can see a little bit better. But yeah, I think that the open, yeah, there you go. See, like we have a different cliff. There's a little problems over here and there because of the cage. I have to mess it around with it. And the open part over there that I had, it's a lot. So we need to minimize. What we can do as well is, let's just say we have the mesh, right? We have over here this high poly mesh. We can do RBD over here. So let's just say put like a RBD solder, so it actually gets a little bit more tight together instead of leaving a lot of those gaps. Because we have a lot of little pieces here there. Oh my God, it's tons of gap. I think it's because of the fact that I did this over here. So if we actually don't do this, let's just see what would happen. So because there's a lot of pieces there. I think that's too much. Yeah, this is much better. There you go. So I would do this and then just go to the textures. I think that's going to be much better. Let's see. Maybe we don't know. There you go. Yeah, it is much better. It is. There's still a little bit here and there that we can fix with the open right there. So yeah, I put it over here, and we have like tons of different colors. We're able to just play around with the composition, and, like, I don't know, bring like this to be a little bit more red. Even the dirt part, like, I want to be a little bit mossy. So let's go a little bit more moss side of things, and I want to track the moss to be a little bit more into the inside of the thing, or even like, for example, the brush force over here that we have is basically that creates like sort of like painterly look, as you can see, or even like one smoother, get a little bit smoother into the end, or even like harsher. Those are all the effects that it comes from the cops, and that we even have like noise over here, so we can actually add a little bit less noise. Again, this is you can play around and do so many things with this, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I think I have like 1024. I'm gonna try 2048 just so we can see a little bit better. And this is just the layout that I did here, just for this node over here. And this is the cool thing. You can do your own steps or your own nodes that you will be able to reuse anywhere you want to. So you can, even if I do any other type of model, I probably can use this and even like further, like improve it, so we can you know reuse this in so many different ways. So yeah, there you go. Just a little bit better. It's kind of gets slow. I don't know 2048. I don't understand why, but yeah, in like do 512 for example. I think that's going to be much faster to see. Let's check. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, I don't know why. Every time that I put like 2048, it gets slow. Let me see if labs reset is going to do something for us. Yeah, much better. Okay, cool. Faster. There you go. So this is just kind of like I wanted to show. There's a little bit of painterly noise there. You can see that you can do with the world normals. You can play around with cavities. You see, we go for something with fire, right? So let's go much darker right here. And let's get the cavities a little bit less saturated. And there you go. And then we go for, you know, lava or something like that. So that's too much. Okay. And we, manage to, let me see what we can do here to not that not get that much of the dirt. Yeah, so there you go. So you're able to play around with so many different things there. So just an idea to show you guys. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for watching. All right, take care. Bye bye.